Alright children, in this exercise we are going to learn about the pre-built formulas known as functions. There are a lot of functions starting with sum and going way down: sum if, average, count, counter, count if, minimum, maximum, if, rank, round up, round down. You mean there are a lot to learn. There are a lot of pre-built functions available in, if you go to the formulas, there are a lot of formulas added over here. If you want some financial formulas, logical formulas, text, so forth. So we are going to learn today some of the very basics. I hope you can remember what is sum and what is average is all about. So I have given you an example previously about this, and over here it's about a person's AD number and the subjects that he has covered, and then how many subjects there is, and the first term and the second term are given. You are to do the final, you are to fill in the blanks using functions. So how do you total up? Now you can use either a formula or a function, but here we are going to use only functions this time. Pre-built formula. So equal sum is a very good function. So it adds the number of cell ranges. So using a bracket, it allows me to add me the numbers that I need, number 2 and number 1. So in this scenario, it is number 1 is the cell reference, or relative cell reference is C3. I can use, if I want, either the range or the plus sign. The range is 2. The range is the colon, and then C3 to D3, and I can end with a bracket and enter. I should get the total mark. Or you can use equal sum and just enter. The two values are highlighted. You get this answer. But if you are to write this, it's better that you use equal. You should write equal sum, the following cells, C3 plus D3. You can use this. That's much better. 162. So with my fill handle, I can always drag it and get my answers. Yes? Okay, right. The different. What is the different? I am to find the difference between the first term and the second term. So you can use the same sum and find from the second term, subtract the first term. I should see that I have 6 marks different than the first term. So you can always drag that with the fill handle. Rank. Now if you get this with a bracket, you surely know that first term you got 90 and the second term you got 83. That means this is minus. When you find a minus value, it indicates with a 2 bracket. Then the averages, the total, and then the rank. Now the rank is the there are three concepts, or there are three things that you should add to a rank. Let me just type the function called rank. It says rank returns the rank number in a list of a number, its size relative to the other values of the list. So let's go and see how it works. So first of all, there are three parts that you have to fulfill: the number, reference, and the order. So the number is where you start. From where are you going to start your ranking? So I'm going to rank, let's say, the total marks. The number, I'm going to start with E3, comma, leaving a comma. Now it gives me the reference. So it's asking me from where should I start my references. So the references begins from E3 to E12. Good. Comma. And then the last part, the missing part is the order, the ranking order, whether you want it descending or ascending. Let me just put descending, the descending value 0, and when I do so, I get that this particular number, total number, is the 9th rank. So now if I happen to drag this now, to see whether this is right, I might get some errors. How can 178 and 192 becomes the same? So there is a small mistake. So before you do that, I'll undo it. What you should do is remember the absolute cells of the references are very important. So I'm going to say that absolute E and absolute 3 column, and then the absolute E12 should be these two starting point, and the ending point should be absolute. It should not change at all. Okay, and then enter. I still get 9, and if I happen to drag my fill handle right to the down to 12, I certainly will now get that 192 is the highest of all, and the last is 161. So remember, what are the three parts that you need? A rank needs a starting point and the cell references. Make sure that the cell references are absolute. Each cell, starting cell is absolute, and the ending cell is absolute, and the ranking order, whether it's a descending order or ascending order. And then if you do that, you get the ranking done easily. Now the total marks for the first term, it's very easy. Use the equal sum, and then you can add all these first term from the relative cells to C3 to C12. Those are the relative cells, and if you enter, you get 768. Now if I happen to drag this to the second term, have I done it correctly? Second term is also highlighted correctly. So relative cells works very perfectly. Total average, now you know how the average works. Equal AV average. So the average of the following, I can use the same method, C3 to C12. 87, and I hope it will be correct if I drag this. Second term is also same way. Minimum, I hope you can remember minimum, equal min. I can select the first term, what's the minimum value taken. It's 75, right? Correct. And then the second term, minimum value 83, correct. Sorry. Maximum, max, the same way, first term 98, maximum value 99 is there. Now comes the fun part, is count the mark, count all the marks greater than 90. Let me have a count of how many greater than 90s are there. So you can use COUNT, count if, to do that. What does it say? Counts the number of cells within the range that meets the given condition. The condition is what? Greater than or equal to 90, right? Let's double click to it. Two things that you have to use. First of all, the range. Here is my range from the first term. And then using a comma, I need the criteria. I use it with a double quotation mark, and I'm going to place my condition greater or equal to 90 and close my condition with the double quotation mark and close the bracket. I should get 60. See whether I have 60 greater than 1. So do I get, let's see, greater or equal, so 90 is also there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, correct. Exactly, you got. So the second term will also be the same. As suppose it's 91, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exactly. Subject count, oh, it's a very interesting one. COUNT, this is counter, counts the number of cells in a range that are not empty. So I really want not empty cells, so I can use that formula. This is not empty, this is not empty, no of these are empty. So if I select this and enter, obviously I get 10 subjects in the first term, 10 subjects in the last term also. But in this, I can use a cell reference which I can use something called a relative cell reference or absolute cell references. So if I try to use absolute cell references, P32, absolute cell references, because it should not change at all. Still I get 10. And if I drag it here also, I get 10, because why? It's the absolute subjects that I have in the second term also. That's much better. But if I don't do that, for instance, if I don't do that, let me show you that in this order, equal, in this cell I will do counter without using the absolute cell references. I get my answer 10, I'm right. But if I happen to see the cell references, it adds the next column. It's not right, isn't it? I'm not asking this cell. So it's better to have a solid